From Romano Leadership, I'm Oscar Romano. This is Learn, Reflect, Lead. Leadership and DEIA development for mission-driven individuals and organizations. This is how to promote yourself authentically. I don't get it. I do so much work and get great results, but I barely get any validation or recognition. Why do other people get noticed so much more than I do? I can't tell you how many times I've heard this from clients, colleagues, and direct reports throughout my career. The truth is, unless you're a reality TV star, people aren't aware of everything you do any given day. Even if your boss is working alongside you all day, chances are that they have so many things that they're working on or thinking about that they won't notice 100% of your contributions that day. Each person's universe revolves around themselves, which makes it hard to take in what other people do. Unfortunately, that makes it difficult for certain types of people who Meredith Feynman, author of Brag Better, Master the Art of Fearless Self-Promotion, calls the qualified quiet. See, it makes it hard for the qualified quiet to be seen and recognized for their work. Here's some characteristics you can use to help determine if you're a member of the qualified quiet and to see if you would benefit from support on how to authentically self-promote. Right, the first characteristic, you expect your work to speak for itself, but consistently get passed up for greater opportunities. Does that sound a little like you? You have trouble speaking about your own accomplishments, but don't mind talking about the accomplishments of others. What about that one? You don't speak up in group settings, even when the topic is in your realm of expertise, when you know the answer. You don't seek out credit for the great work you do. And I'm talking about amazing work that you're responsible for. If you feel connected to any or all of the statements above, any that I've mentioned, it's important that you focus on two areas for improvement, your mindset and your skill set. So let's tackle mindset first. This is not me. I'm an introvert. I don't have the talent. Maybe you can't see yourself as a person who promotes themselves to others. I don't know enough to share. I'm no expert. Maybe you keep telling yourself that you're not at the level, right? The right level where you should be talking about yourself, where you deserve to be talking about yourself. Oh, it's not going to do anything. There's no point. Whether due to past experiences or something else, you don't see how anything will change due to your actions. Right? You don't see any hope. Or I don't want to embarrass myself. You're afraid of screwing up and bringing down your standing in front of others, right? You're afraid of that shame coming up. Or I don't want to come across as full of myself, right? You don't want to be that guy or girl who's always talking about how great they are and what awesome things they've recently accomplished. Now, those statements related to mindset, but what about skill set? Or I don't know how. You want to promote yourself, but you don't have the faintest clue where to start. You just have no idea. Well, I've seen people do it, and I can't imagine myself doing what they do. You've had bad examples or incompatible examples to model what self-promotion looks like. Maybe it just seems like so much work, right? You're daunted by the time, energy, and effort you think it'll take to promote yourself. I've heard a lot of people say this one, I feel weird talking about myself. Right? Maybe you don't have the techniques or structures to follow that would make it more comfortable to talk about yourself. Or I've tried and failed before, so I'm afraid of doing it again. Man, you could have prior bad experiences just getting in the way of taking action. Les Brown said, accept the responsibility for your life. Know that it is you who will get you where you want to go, nobody else. I love that quote. I love that statement. It's important to accept the responsibility and to be your own champion. Because when I'm referring to authentic self-promotion, I'm literally talking about you talking about who you are. It's not about putting on a show and dance routine. It's not about making yourself seem like a larger-than-life character. It's about making sure key decision makers know about the factually accurate accomplishments that can help them see what you have to offer. So how do you do it? How do you champion yourself? The first part is to own your accomplishments. And by own, I mean you need to claim your accomplishments as fully belonging to you, right? To you. And by your accomplishments, well, you need to know what you're proud of and why. So you can practice by listing all your accomplishments and giving each a title and description. This is how you can practice. Write down at least one accomplishment per year for the last 5 years. Then write down one accomplishment per month for the past year. Then after that, maybe you see where I'm going with this. Write down one accomplishment per week for the past month. And lastly, write down one accomplishment per day for the past week. The idea is to help you just see more what you've accomplished in any given time period. Now, if you want to do some extra credit, you can create your own limited edition card with all your best stats. Draw an image of your best self on one side and write down a list of all of your top accomplishments on the other side. Now, we talked about owning your accomplishments. What about knowing your accomplishments? See, it's important to be prepared. Leverage your list of accomplishments by memorizing them so that you can recall them in a natural way when the moment calls for it. Most people can easily share detailed stories of how they screwed up on a project last week or with a client the week before, but they struggle recounting their successes. Don't let that be you. And you can practice by, making accomplishment flashcards, right? Use index cards to do that so you can practice and remember all your accomplishments. Then you can refer to your accomplishments. Write down the title of the accomplishment on one side and the description of the accomplishment on the other side, right? Here is for your flashcards. You can make a pile of flashcards and then go through all of them, trying to recall the description for each. If you get it wrong, place it in a different pile. If you get it right, then place it in another pile. So that way you have two piles and you know which ones you need to focus on, which ones you need to, maybe you need to jog your memory about a little more so you can, stay on track. Now, extra credit, write your accomplishments retirement speech. This could be interesting. All right, put everything together to write down what you would like, for somebody to share about you at your retirement party if you were to retire today. Now, it's time to share your accomplishments. Now, for this, you have to think about who, what, where, when, how, and why. You see, self-promotion isn't about talking about how great you are to everybody all the time for no clear reason. You need to be in complete control of the entire situation to maximize its benefits and make it as easy as possible for you to do. So who is your audience and why? For example, my audience is my boss because I've been passed up for several promotions even though I've excelled in my role for years. Or what do you want them to know and why? For example, I want them to know that I was responsible for 75% of the work that convinced one of our biggest clients to renew their contract for another year. And where is the best venue to self-promote and why? For example, I need to do this during a one-on-one meeting because I feel more comfortable being vulnerable in person. Right? Think about what's best for you. And when is the best time to self-promote and why? For example, I have bi-weekly check-ins where my boss always asks me if there's anything else I want to add. I usually don't say anything, but this time I will use the opportunities to self-promote. And how will you deliver the self-promotion and why? So here, this is maybe it can be a little more scripted. For example, Stephanie, I want to share something I'm proud of from this past month. I know how important it is to retain our clients, so I took on a majority of the work for a big project they assigned to us. It was a great feeling to hear that they were so happy with the results that they were renewing their contract with us for another year. This news energized me and got me excited about continuing to be as involved with future clients. Please let me know if you ever see an opportunity where I can step in and support. Practice. Prepare your own script. Right? So think about this. Who is your audience? What do you want them to know? Where is the best venue to self-promote? When is the best time to self-promote? How will you deliver the self-promotion? And you need to have the whys for all those questions. And practice your script in front of a mirror or with a friend. You have to have this down. Extra credit. If you've established a solid level of trust with your boss, talk to them about how you are working on self-promotion. Ask them how they would prefer to hear about any accomplishments that you achieve. Right? This is about being able to get seen by others. Right? Why do other people get noticed so much more than I do? By now, you should know the answer to that. They make a point to be seen. So take control of your situation by authentically self-promoting and allowing others to see how great you truly are. Even if you just inspire one person or change somebody's perception of you by 1%, that's a huge win. That's it for this episode of Learn, Reflect, Lead. Thank you for watching on YouTube or listening via podcast. If you're interested in more, you can find me at romanoleadership.com or connect with me on LinkedIn at Romano Leadership. If you like this episode, please share it with your friends, subscribe, and leave a review. I'm Oscar Romano. Until next time.